This is Todd, and you're watching Truebread. All right, everyone, this is Todd Truebread. We're trying to get in here on the live stream, and it was interrupted by connection problems, which I don't have. I have excellent Wi-Fi sitting right here, right by my router. But we were talking about Thanksgiving. I just read Psalm 100. If you want to go look at that, it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful psalm for Thanksgiving and giving thanks to the Lord. We had a good Thanksgiving dinner with my family that was in this area. A really good time. But it is November 30th, 2024. We're going to press on here. JFK, the anniversary came up last week, November 22nd. He was shot in 1963. I was like a year and a half old. I don't remember it, obviously, but I was alive at the time. Obviously, he was assassinated in a coup to take over power from him. I'm not going to get into the weeds on that of who and why. It doesn't matter. There's so much speculation out there about how many shots were fired, who pulled the trigger, who benefited. It just goes on and on. But very important, because just like JFK was trying to upset the apple cart, so was Trump. Never had tried once, hit him right through the ear. If he hadn't turned his head, it would have blown his brains out, just like Kennedy, live on TV, CNN and MSNBC sitting right there to watch it happen, which he had never done before. So obviously there was a plan to take out Trump. I feel like Trump is the king of the North. He's been divinely appointed that role. And, in one way, you can look at Revelation 13, I believe it's verse 4, his deadly wound was healed. That was about as close to a deadly wound as you can get and not be dead. So very important. And also real quick, just so much talk, even more than usual, about UFOs. It's all over the place. Now they're showing them over DC. I saw one last week of a ball floating over an airport, like 3 inches in the air, just sitting there floating. And then the pilot said it just shot straight up. We call this Project Bluebeam in my world. No telling what kind of technology the military has. I don't believe in UFOs at all. That's absolute nonsense. Except for we don't know what the military is doing, is what I mean. There are aliens all the way throughout Scripture. That's not the issue. The issue is UFOs, flying machines. If they're flying machines, why don't they just land in D.C. and go talk to somebody? See, they'll never do that, because they can't. They'll just blow their cover. So, but be aware of that Project Bluebeam, where the federal government will fake their own alien invasion up to the return of the Messiah. That's the ultimate goal and purpose of Project Bluebeam, is the return of the Messiah to the planet, a fake return and a fake rapture to absolutely terrify everybody on the planet. So, but that'll probably happen right before Armageddon to a degree, to terrify the masses, get everybody into obeying the system. But you and I, if you know ahead of time, you're not going to be terrified by it. You'll know that it's not a UFO, it's Project Bluebeam. So So we're going to get into it here. Trump did win the election, obviously, by a landslide. It was like a Walter Mondale version of a defeat, in my opinion. I think he had 312. Anytime you get over 300 electoral college votes, that's a landslide. And I'm like, I don't vote, so I'm not getting involved in it. I'm just making observations. It freaks me out how the Democrats are upset that she lost when they know she was such a bad candidate to begin with. I can't believe they even held out hope for that. So, but they did, of course. And you've got Trump now making all these appointments, which is, you think he had learned his lesson the first time around, but no chance. First of all, I don't support Donald Trump. Like I said, I think he's the king of the North. We're going to get to that here in a few minutes. This won't be a long Bible study. So, Donald Trump has worked with the Jews his whole life, has won awards, went on to the, once he was first in office, he went on to move the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. So, and that's why I say he's the king of the North. But he's a Zionist. And he supports Zionists. Well, the problem is he's surrounding himself with other Zionists, which means pro-Netanyahu, pro-IDF military, pro-genocide in Gaza, the whole 9 yards. So people like, this is unbelievable. Sebastian Gorka calling for the elimination of Gaza and the elimination of Iran. Like the very next day, he was publicly stated to be, I don't know what he's going to be, director of intelligence or something like that. Just comes right out and says it. He reminds me of John Bolton, extreme Zionist. He's got, I don't know the women's names right off the top of my head, but they're all extreme Zionists who want Israel to kill Hamas in Gaza, like Tulsi Gabbard. She comes right out and says it. So he's just doing the same thing over and over again, which is exactly what I've been saying since 2016, that Donald Trump is the king of the North. And it's for a purpose that he's a Zionist, because he's controlled by the Zionists. That's what they do. That's how they work. They make sure all the people around him are Zionists as well, so they can influence him to do what they want. And what they want the United States to attack Iran. It's that simple, like Sebastian Gorka said. It's just, I haven't seen anybody that he's appointed that I even like. Because, I don't get into politics. I don't care. I don't know much about these people. But it's terrifying to me that he could just, make it so obvious. And then he's meeting with NATO. This is really bizarre. The people in NATO, the leadership from Brussels, were meeting with Trump in Mar-a-Lago. Now, who has that kind of influence? So, it's sitting up perfectly. I think I was disappointed when Biden was declared president, because I thought to myself, I'm wrong. And then I waited and I watched, and I began to realize, wait a minute. The timing wasn't right for Trump to come back in. Other things had to happen. I didn't know about Ukraine. I didn't know about Gaza. I didn't know about Yemen. All these things that happened in the meantime, setting the stage for Trump to come back on the scene in the last 4 or 8 years, however long it is. I do not set dates. I do not know. But you can tell by watching. And I tell my family, because they ask me, where are we? And I tell them, Trump's going to get sworn in. If they don't kill him, I don't think they will, because he's being protected. He's going to get sworn back in, and then we'll look for 2 things. The Zionists are going to bait Iran into attacking with missiles. They're going to blow the Dome of the Rock up and blame it on an Iranian missile, take over the entire so-called fake Temple Mount, and they're going to start building their temple. And the next sign we'll see are the 2 witnesses coming on the stage. So we have those 3 things: Trump being sworn in, the Dome of the Rock being demolished, new temple starts construction, and then at the last 3.5 years, you're going to see the two witnesses come on the scene, and they're going to prophesy for 1,260 days. Let me see if I can find an image on that here real fast for you. So this is the Dome of the Rock up on that plaza. That is the so-called Temple Mount. That is not the Temple Mount at all. The temple's never stood there. That was built back in 300 AD by Constantine's mother. The Muslims just took it over when they invaded in, I think it was like 680 AD, and they made the dome gold. So that's not a mosque at all. The mosque is here. That's the Al-Aqsa Mosque. This is a shrine. They don't worship there. They worship here. They don't pray inside the dome. They pray down here in Al-Aqsa Mosque. So that you can count, and that's where they want to put their temple. Let me see if I can find that for you. Show you here real fast. Very important. I could do the whole Bible study on this. I've done entire Bible studies on this many times. You've got to. If you're not told this information, you're never going to hear this on the news. I mean, first of all, no one knows it. Here we are. So what we have here is a rendering from Ernest L. Martin in his great book, Temples at Jerusalem Forgot. There is what the Jews call the Temple Mount. This is a Roman fortress built by Herod called Fort Antonia. At the Praetorium here, that's where the Messiah was judged. The Dome of the Rock stands over the rock that the Messiah stood on when Pilate judged him to death. And all the temples were directly over the Gihon Spring. Gihon Spring's right here. This is about 600 feet south. There's Herod's temple in the time of the Messiah. The Messiah said all these buildings will be destroyed. Everything was destroyed. The Romans did not destroy their own fortress. That doesn't make any sense. So, but that's coming up. Don't forget that. Trump appointment, Dome of the Rock destroyed, two witnesses on the scene last 3.5 years. That's right in Revelation 11. All right, so we're going to move on here. The big news for the world, in my opinion, is Russia, obviously. And like I've said before, on the way to Armageddon, the final battle, human beings are human beings. They can't control themselves. They're always going to escalate. How many times did you hear Biden say, no, we will not send them long-range missiles. We will not let them use ATACMS. Are they using the ATACMS today in Ukraine? Yes, they are. And Russia said, that's it. Well, I didn't know they had this super powerful hypersonic ballistic missile with 6 independently remote vehicle entry warheads, and each one of those had 6 projectiles. They wiped out a military supply and production center without even using explosives. It was so much energy, it vaporized the entire plant. Just almost as effective as a nuclear weapon without the radiation. And they have plenty of these weapons. So the Arishnik missile, all day long today I was waiting to see if they were going to hit again with one of these Arishnik missiles, because they had warned. They put out notices to airmen in Russia to get out of this airspace until this afternoon. So they did. I don't know if they attacked. They've been attacking the energy supply the last couple days. I don't know what else they've done today. I haven't seen. But I will be looking for that. And it reminds me of the Lord of the Flies. How I go back to this a lot. How it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. It's called the escalation ladder. You know they're going to escalate. And after Putin hit that military base with that Areshnik missile, that didn't even slow them down. Like the next day, they launched more attacking missiles. I mean, what do you call that? You know, it's madness. It's pure madness is what it is. And we have to, people, I hear this every day now. People are saying, oh my word, is it the end? Is it World War III? What's going to happen? And all these wars, everything we're seeing goes back to one event in history, and you can read about it in Scripture. When Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, Genesis 3, the serpent got to Eve, said that you surely won't die, Eve. You can have this fruit. And then she bit it, and then Adam bit it too, and that was it. As soon as that happened, they got kicked out, and that put us on the path we're on today. So all of the wars, World War I, World War II, and World War III, all started in the Garden of Eden, all the way down through time, and will not finish until Armageddon and the return of the Messiah to the Mount of Olives, to finally put an end to the madness once and for all, forever. So you got to keep that in mind. Don't say, oh, is World War III starting? People don't understand when they say World War III, what they're saying is Armageddon. So yes, Armageddon has started. Armageddon has started right up here. That is, or used to be Ukraine. Ukraine is right over here. That's where all the forces are This is Crimea. That's the Black Sea. Crimea is just due north of Megiddo. That's probably not even 500 miles. So all the same forces are right there. United States and NATO, King of the North. We have Russia and China, the BRICS, kings from the East. King of the South, Yemen, Iran, because they're all Muslim. Here's Mecca and Medina right here, just south of Jerusalem. So King of the South. All the players are already working up here. You know, North Korea and Iran are helping Russia with weapons. So they're all involved. And they're all going to be coming down up the Euphrates River, the Chinese, 200 million man army right into Megiddo. And that's where the final battle is going to be. And I really shouldn't say the word battle. It's not going to be a battle. It's going to be stopped by the Messiah. It'll be like war games. Let me see if I can pull it up real fast here. I really like talking about this. I get a lot of mileage out of this. Here it is. This is from the movie War Games. You can see Win or None. I've used this for years, for 2 decades now. This is not going to happen. It can't. Because if this took place, there would be nothing left on the earth, not even a cockroach. So that's not going to happen. There may be small nukes used. I doubt it. You know, they have tactical nukes which are extremely small, and then they have the strategic nukes to take out a city or 2 cities or whatever. These would be strategic nukes right here. That can't happen because the Messiah says there's going to be people left alive when he comes back to the earth. People are going to see him. So that means there's going to be human beings on the planet. But that's where it's going. If the Messiah didn't intervene, this is what we would have at Armageddon. Come back to the Mount of Olives, because the Zionists have what they call the Samson option, where if they say if we can't have it all, no one's going to have anything. This is a result of the Samson option. So that's not going to happen. You can rest assured of that. And one more thing here, real fast. It's about the best picture I have of Elon right now. So, this guy made an astonishing statement to me. I don't know why he's so close to Trump. He's at Trump's right hand. Every time you see Trump, there is Elon. I don't know what's up with that right now. Very influential, already appointed to run that Department of Government Efficiency with Ramaswamy, whatever his name is. But Elon last week said, and there's images of him dressed up as a Roman soldier. He said this is the new Roman Empire. Now, if you've been listening to truebread since 2005, and I just told someone this today, how long have I been saying we're the Fourth Reich of the Roman Empire? And here we are, and here is Elon Musk reinforcing what I've been saying, that the United States, this country, and NATO, and the G7, and the 7 heads and 10 horns, that is the new Roman Empire of Daniel chapter 2 with the legs. I do have an image for that. That's very good. You can see the statue here where you can see, this is Daniel chapter 2, Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Nebuchadnezzar dreamt of a statue with a big, tall, massive, and the statue had a gold head, silver arms, bronze thigh, and iron legs, and 10 toes mixed with iron and clay. We are down here. This would be the Fourth Roman Reich. Here are the Roman legs, iron. First is Caesar's, second is Napoleon, third is Hitler, fourth is Trump. And this is it. There's nothing after. And at the bottom here, you can see the stone that's going to come back and destroy and smash these feet. They're going to turn, the whole statue is going to dissolve, turn to dust, and never be seen again. So that's the good news of this. And this is a timeline, by the way. So if we're down here, how much more time do we even have before the Messiah comes back? That's the good news. And with everything happening, Trump being reelected, we're going to see the temple start to be built. 2 witnesses on the scene. It's going to happen exactly. It is happening exactly like it's spelled out. I was at Thanksgiving. My nephew looked at me, and he was commenting about Trump's landslide victory, and he looked at me and said, "You have been right all along." And what he was saying is about Trump being the king of the North, which he absolutely is. But you got to remember, he's a full-blown Zionist. He's under the control of the Zionists. So, and real fast, already seeing the Xmas decorations everywhere, just one after the other, Halloween, Thanksgiving, right to Xmas, and then it's going to be New Year's Eve, and it'll start all over again. Let me see if I can finish up with this one image here. I know where this one's located. I think it's more helpful if you can see images than just see me. So this is the Witch's Wheel of Life. This is true. They have all these divisions. They have everything divided. So we're over here now. We haven't had the solstice yet, so we're coming down like through here. October 31st, Samhain. Then they have Saturnalia, Yule, and it goes right on down to the spring, pagan days, all the way around. They have names for all these dates, by the way. And that goes on year after year after year with the seasons. It follows the sun and the moon. It's a ripoff from Satan the Devil of the holy days of Genesis 1 verse 14, how we're supposed to use the sun and moon for our days, weeks, months, and years, and for our holy days. And people just they follow right along, and it's like I have to deal with it every year. It's like the robotic automatons. They just do what everyone else in society does. Oh, my neighbor put his decorations up, I better be putting mine up. And it just goes on and on and on. So let's try to wrap this thing up here. Just one more comment to make. I don't know what image I want to use for this. But I listened to Douglas McGregor on YouTube. He's excellent. He was a colonel in the Army. Very distinguished. Has written books. Knows a lot about the Middle East. Knows a lot about what's going on in society and in the world. And like with the Zionists in Gaza, he talks about that all the time. So I'll leave you with this, that McGregor said, what we need is a new government. And that's exactly correct. That's like Lord of the Flies. I need a new system. Well, here it is. When the Messiah comes back, he's going to establish his kingdom in Jerusalem. He's going to build his temple, not the fake temple of the Zionists. That will be destroyed. He's going to build his temple. You can read about that in Ezekiel 40-44. And this is a flag I designed with the names of the children of Israel right here. The true Israelite, the Hebrews. The lampstand in the middle here has 7 lamps. 7 obviously is the number of the Creator. In John 6:32, when the Messiah says, Moses did not give you the bread from heaven, but my Father gives you the true bread from heaven. And we are waiting on that true bread to come back. That's Messiah. The lampstand pictures of Messiah. That's Revelation 1. You can read about that. That is not a Jewish symbol. That's a symbol of the Messiah. So just want to say thanks for watching. It's Todd with True, but I have this up as soon as I can, and I will talk to you soon. Keep the faith.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace.